Chapter 1. You are listening at FameTV.info. Autumn Maple Town, Dacia State. In Ye's ancestral hall, on the table carved from sandalwood, there are various kinds of offerings. In the middle of the ancestral hall, there are some incense sticks in the simple black tripod on the ground, and the cigarette curls. The door was pushed open and a small figure came in. It was a 13.4-year-old girl with a face of only palm size and delicate facial features, but it was a pity that her hair and a pair of dull eyes made her beautiful like a pearl covered with dust. The girl just walked to the desk, and suddenly several people came out. "Well, we've got the thief." Several evil slaves seized the girl's hands and feet and pressed her to the ground. Oh! The girl was frightened and wanted to break free from several people's hands. It was a pity that her strength could not compare with those Yi family evil slaves who had learned martial arts since childhood and had reached the level of physical training. "Yi Lingyue, it turns out that you are such a fool. Who gave you the courage to eat the offering on the table?" The servant who spoke was called Wang Jiui, a confidant of Yi Qing, the sixth young master of the Yi family. Yi Lingyue, Yi Qing's cousin, was pushed to the ground. Although she is a young lady of the Yi family, her status in the Yi family is lower than that of her servants. Because Yi Lingyue is a disgrace to the Yi family, she is a fool. No illness clean up. Yi Lingyue's pale face is full of panic. Dare to argue. Wang Jiui couldn't help but slap Yi Lingyue. Wang Jiui is a famous martial artist. After a few slaps in the face, Yi Lingyue's face is swollen. Wang Jiui still doesn't get rid of his hatred and kicks Yi Lingyue's abdomen. Yi Lingyue's body, like a broken kite, flew out and hit the landing tripod of the ancestral hall, making a dull sound. The silly girl is still. Don't die. Several servants of Ye's family thought that Yi Lingyue was dead after seeing Yi Lingyue for half a day. How can you die so easily? This silly girl, who has been beaten for more than 10 years, is not living well. As the young master said, it's very mean and hard. Wang Jiui's mind is also vicious. He swept his eyes and noticed the incense tripod beside Yi Lingyue. The ancestral hall of the Yi family was bought by the Yi family owner more than 30 years ago. The incense tripod was in the ancestral hall at that time and has been preserved. Wang Jiui stepped forward, pushed open the lid of the tripod and grabbed a handful of incense. "You a few, pry open the mouth of little silly girl, let her eat stealthily, let her eat enough today." Several domestic slaves are laughing. Yi Lingyue is not as good as a wild dog in their eyes. They hold down Yi Lingyue's hands and feet, put those who do not know how many years have not been cleaned, into her mouth. The moment the ash was put into his mouth, there was a round thing that slipped into Yi Lingyue's throat. As soon as that thing enters the belly, the foolish girl Yi Lingyue only feels a burst of hot heat in the abdomen elixir field. Endless heat, good heat, burning heart of the heat, as if to burn her whole person. It's hard good affliction, Leaf Lingyue grasps throat, what thing wants to drill out from her throat. Until there were blood stains on her neck, the heat didn't relieve at all. She was so miserable that she bumped into the incense tripod and blood came out from her forehead. No, the little fool is dead. Wang Jiui came to see and found that Yi Lingyue had no movement. Several domestic slaves looked at each other, and they were afraid. Although the little silly girl was humble and ignored, she was also a genuine miss of the Yi family. "What are you doing? Go to find the young master." Wang Jiui panicked and several people ran away. In the ancestral hall, Yi Lingyue's small body is curled up together. The feeling of burning fire, wave after wave. "Mother!" Yi Lingyue cried helplessly, but no one answered her. Gradually, the burning sensation disappeared, and Yi Lingyue's internal organs twisted together. I don't know how long, in the mind, dong sound, like something suddenly exploded in the dantian. Yi Lingyue's body, there is a flash of red light, quickly spread to her body, her fingers moved. Eyes. suddenly opened, the pair of dull eyes before, bright as the morning star. The surrounding scenery became clear, and Yi Lingyue sat up. Her eyes flashed by. In the middle of the house there is a desk with offerings and ancestral tablets on it. I'm reborn. Yi Lingyue murmured. She looked at her hand. Small and thin, all kinds of large and small wounds, this is the body of a girl who has been bullied. She stood up and tried to recall the information of the body, but because she was a fool, there were only some trivial memories in her brain. It seems that it will take some time to get used to the body. Turning to leave, Yi Lingyue's ear heard the array zizizi sound. Not far away, on the ancient incense tripod, the pool of blood left by Yi Lingyue hitting the tripod earlier is changing. Blood, visible to the naked eye, penetrated into the cauldron. Yi Lingyue's feet on a cold air, but strong curiosity drove her to go forward. As soon as her hand touched the tripod, a strange scene happened. Whoosh! The ancient tripod, which used to take 2 or 3 people to lift, turned into a stream of black light and penetrated into her palm. www.novelhall.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.